Hello everyone, X-Walk Hill Bethelite here. And the title of elder among Jehovah's Witnesses has got to be the most pitiful, ridiculous, unbelievably deceptive title in the world. And people understand that just in general, brands, titles, things that sound familiar to people is something that causes people to drop their guard. It causes people to trust. You hear brand names. You hear Nike. You hear Kellogg's. You hear Pepsi. You hear names that you have just heard for long periods of time, and you think that something is better. There's something better, and to a certain extent, with some of those things, that may be true. But with Jehovah's Witnesses, that is an empty title. With the word elder amongst Jehovah's Witnesses, you hear the word elder and these people just flip out. But for an elder among Jehovah's Witnesses, you're talking about somebody who has just been sitting in a meeting for a long period of time. They haven't gone through any kind of seminary. Watchtower doesn't even have any kind of charities or anything for these people to have been involved with some great positive force in the community for a long period of time to have earned that title. These people literally have just read watchtowers and knocked on doors for a long period of time. And one of the reasons why this is such a problem is because these people that have the title elder can then go and take advantage of other people who trust them because of this word, the word elder. They just heard it for a long period of time, so they figure anybody with that word next to their name must be really intelligent. They must be there's something special about them. They must be trustworthy. But there have been elders amongst Jehovah's Witnesses who got that title even though they themselves had been disfellowshipped possibly multiple times for sexual misconduct. And they still get the title elder. There's been people who we have all been concerned about who have been involved with molesting kids. And the prospect of them becoming an elder later on was still there. There's been people who have the title elder that's been divorced 2-3 times. They just start families and ruin them, start families and ruin them, start families and ruin them. And they still get the title elder. I mean, it's literally meaningless other than the fact that people trust names that they've heard over a long period of time. The name elder. Now, again, it's more of a travesty with Jehovah's Witnesses because these people hadn't done anything to earn religious titles. I mean, they literally have not done anything other than what I can do in my garage. I can have people read books. I can set up chairs in my garage, have people read books, give them a reading assignment, read this, come to my garage and we're going to discuss it. And then after a period of time, I just start handing them out titles. That is the exact same thing Watchtower has done. And the problem with that is you have all these women who think they're going to have a great family because they want to marry what they think is an elder. And really what they're marrying is the lowest standard of anyone having a title in religion, as far as I know. The only thing that comes close to that is the Mormons that I know of and other, cult-like groups. But in cults, oftentimes these titles, they're meaningless. They're literally meaningless. You might as well be marrying someone just because they have a library card. There's no difference. You have all these women out here, ministerial servant, elder, they're wanting to marry these people. Just marry somebody with a library card. You're just marrying somebody who probably has just done some reading in the Watchtower Library. They just done some reading, and then they sit and discuss it. It's like the show A Reading Rainbow that used to come on a long time ago. They would talk about books. Somebody with a library card probably has an interest in books and reading. So you might as well be marrying someone with a library card thinking you're going to have just the most perfect family in the world. Because they read, assign reading, and then they sit and discuss it. This is unbelievable. But for males who are a part of Watchtower, they get all these titles, and they get women to want to marry them, and they get to stand up in front of people and talk like they know something, and it affects the ego. It affects the ego. You then have someone who has virtually zero qualifications religiously with a title, and now they think they're somebody. I'm telling you, the person who is an elder oftentimes is a person who was DF'd and used to run the streets and everything else. And they just been a guy with a library card, a person who has been reading from the Watchtower Library for a while, and now all of a sudden they have this religious title and everybody's supposed to look up to them. This is a meaningless title. It's a name that's meaningless. It's the exact same as if, I sewed on a Nike sign on my shirt right now. If I sold it on myself, all of a sudden this shirt's value goes up. Well, that's counterfeit. That's not real. That's the same with the titles Jehovah's Witnesses give out to men. And then these men just go out and they pick out these women, and these poor women end up in abusive relationships and everything else. And what's going to happen with all the pedophiles? Watchtower came out with an article saying, okay, well, now you can go tell the police. Great. They should have been doing that a long time ago. Well, now that you're just now telling people this, what about all these pedophiles that have been running around for years and years? One thing about elder and Jehovah's Witnesses that's concerning is these people are overly interested in sex. It's always been that way among Jehovah's Witnesses. These people become elders and they want to start having all these judicial meetings in regards to sex and asking people all these questions about sex. And if you are dating someone, even if you're dating them legitly, they're going to be all in your business because they're wanting to find out if you're having sex. So read between the lines. These people, once they're given these empty titles, sex is already on the brain. They're already thinking, oh, let me go get a woman that I wouldn't ordinarily be able to get. Let me just start getting into all these people's sexual lives and sexual business. You could be at someone's house. You got your car parked at somebody's house, and these quote-unquote elders are wondering what you're doing over there. They're concerned. They're just overly concerned about sex. Jehovah's Witness elders are overly concerned about sex, and I think it has something to do with all the pedophilia. I think it has something to do with all these 50-year-old elders wanting to marry these young girls, all these older people with this title wanting these young girls. I think these people already oftentimes weren't right in the head sexually anyway, and then they get this title, and then that's just all they want to do is talk about sex. If someone has done something, they want to sit them down and ask them every detail, and they just, it's just, to a certain extent, it's a little bit sex crazy. And I've known elders growing up who that was their problem before they became elders, is they were sexually inappropriate with women a lot. Then they become elders, and of course that's what they want to do. They want to use that title to get into everybody's sexual business. They just want to pry. They just want to have authority to look at women and say, hey, that dress is too long, or you know, if you do something inappropriate, which is what that elder did his whole life before becoming an elder, I want you to tell me about it so I can get all the juicy details. And it's no wonder you have people with no qualifications that are that involved with everybody's sex life that there's something wrong with them. So comment down below, let me know what you think. I think there's a lot of people with that title that none of them really should have the title, because again, Jehovah's Witnesses, they don't have a single charity. There's nothing they could have done to earn it. And you know, a lot of these people weren't right to begin with. Before they became elders, they weren't right to begin with, and that's not magically going to make them any better. So, ex-Wallkill Bethelite, signing out.